course, with our great musical skills and talent. The land is great, it's great. Oh, and of course, some of you have seen that in recent time, my pictures have started looking started looking to see you that I am. Are you looking behind that? Oh, look. You see, the level changed, right? See you, Bello! Hello!
Hello! It is so good to be here. Awesome to be here.
I'm really excited to have you today. And I'm excited to have you.
I'm excited to
Every person in this world.
Well, that feels incredible to hear because I see you hang out with Kawasaki and some big people. So and that means I have blow.
And for your information, those people I count them with my 2 fingers. So they're not more than 10.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. You're very kind.
Welcome today. Welcome. I told you I like this particular glass, right? Let me grab
Oh my goodness.
You know, royal is royal blue, isn't it?
See this one? I think this is kind of a baby blue. I said, a baby blue.
Because
and I hide behind it. People realize I'm actually quite shy. So I have the hair I hide behind. Now I have glasses I can hide behind. So I can say what's inside my heart.
We are all in the same category.
Oh, yes. This is definitely yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Same space. My color is...
Yours is royal, mine is baby. You see, I'm growing up one day. I will be like you.
Come on. You are such a humble soul. So let's get into it. Tell us about who is T.Y. Bello.
My name is T.Y. Bello. And I am a creative. I'm an eternal learner. I'm constantly learning and I'm constantly starting something new and learning something new. I'm a musician and a photographer, you know, and those are the 2 things I do for work. But I am constantly learning new things and learning to create and learning, you know, how to find how to be the person that God has ordained me to be. So it's a beautiful process of just staying childlike all the time and learning still.
Okay, cool. So tell us your journey to becoming a believer. How did that happen?
Oh wow! I think for me, I came born again very, very quickly at the age of 11. There was a friend of mine that we used to fetch water. If we went to boarding house in Nigeria, you had to wake up very early to go and fetch water. Yeah. And there was a very young friend of mine. She was 11 at the time as well. And then one day she called me and said, T.Y., do you know I'm dying and I'm going to heaven? And I'd never heard anyone say anything to me like that because she had leukemia.
Wow.
And she actually, I had an 11-year-old friend who had cancer, who knew she was dying, who was very excited about dying. And she was like, you know why I'm excited? Because I know I'm going to heaven, because I'm born again. You know, and that was my first real introduction to what it actually meant to be born again. So it was Ibironke Roads, you know, my first introduction to God. And it's interesting. It was her elder sister who eventually led me to Christ in a school in the Kumuyi club. And it's funny because God knows more than anything in the world I love to swim. So he put me exactly where in my favorite place in the world. If she was selling me witchcraft, I would have collected it. I'm so glad it was God that she was leading me. So after Ibonke passed, her name is Sister Kende. I haven't seen her in years. She reached out to me and shared the gospel with me. And I became born again. And I became one of the first born again Christians in my school, which was, the very first set of my school. So it was like, as soon as I became a Christian, it was like I had to play a leadership role immediately because I was one of the very first.
Wow.
Yeah.
At age 11, mine was age 13. And mine wasn't somebody trying to die. And then, because that's something.
That was quite special.
That's really special. And I can imagine how you feel like, I gotta go meet this my friend someday.
Yeah, of course.
Where she said she was going, it's quite important. So who were the influence in terms of growing up? Because another thing to give your life to Christ, another thing to have this group of mentors, spiritual mentors.
Oh, I was so blessed. So my best friend is from a family of 7 children. Mm-hmm. And it was an entire household of people that were born again. And so there was Yemisi and her siblings. It was like a village. And then there was Tara. So we all lived near each other. So there was me and Yemisi, and then there was Tara Fela Rotoye now. We're all 11. Tara. A lot of young kids just excited about God.
Wow.
They would all hang out in other houses and listen to messages together, tips, integrity tips, And then, but I must say, one of my biggest was my teacher, Mr. Imoisili. Imoisili was from Deeper Lights. So my very first real spiritual mentor was Deeper Lights. So I had a very strong, sanctification, and I was real SU. I was more SU than SU. I had Mr. Moisili, and then I had more fun. Yemisi, sister, but it was a very nice balance for me, And I had a lot of much older friends. So because of Yemisi's elder sister was University of Ife, and they used to, all be part of this fellowship called Agape, yeah. And they were so cool and so fun that we all just wanted to be like them. They were Christian, they loved God, and they had the coolest music, and they had such fun friendships, and they were awesome. I think for me, it was just being 11 years old, 12 years old, and being in the midst of all these different types of Christians. And so I think that the deeper life, the funky agape Christians, having all those different people kind of make me all the different types of people that I have inside this one person.
And I can imagine it gave you a good balance, really.
Yes, it did. No, absolutely. Absolutely. And what's really funny?
Yeah.
So a few years ago, I met Kumuyi.
Wow.
In the weirdest way. For me, I know that was my foundation, and I never did go to the church. But then I was in Southampton, and I was in a class with someone teaching. It was just a conference.
Yeah.
I look behind me and I see the great Kumuyi sitting down in a class with a pen and paper. He didn't have a charge. He was his wife and no more person. And I looked at all the white people.
You need to share those kind of events with me. Like, what kind of event was that like that go for?
As in, I'm thinking, these are all these Oyibo people. They don't know that the Pope is sitting down in the same class. Like, they have no idea. But to see someone that is that influential in the kingdom, sit down in a class with a pen and paper and take notes quietly and listen, no entourage, nothing. I asked for a selfie. He allowed me to have one. I was really, really touched. Really, really, really was touched.
That was divine impactation, really.
Yeah.
Can you hear that?
Amazing. I know a lot of you, by the way, guys. I know you felt that we brought all of you, hundreds of you all over the world, and we're just gisting and we forgot you. We'll bring you in at some point. And the good news is I will pull some of you up and you will ask your question directly. Yes! From the one and only